Hey, Brother Dave here, Brother Dave's Hillbilly Homestead, out here in Elk Fork, Kentucky. Well, you guys haven't heard from me for about a week. It's because I got myself in a jam, as happens. You get out here, you make mistakes. It's 80% success, 20% failure. Learn from your mistakes. But this year, the biggest mistake I made was planting peppers in the greenhouse like a month too soon. I know I already said that in other videos, but the result of that was it was either put them in the garden or put them in pots twice as big, and it's just, I looked at the weather report 15 days out all the way to May the 10th, which is the absolute last frost date. It's like 1 in 20 years you'll get a frost after that. But we were looking at temperatures in the high 70s in the day, low 50s at night. It was like, all right, perfect, get everything out here, get it planted. And then, boom, Shivaloosh volcano on the Kamchatka Peninsula in the Western Pacific went puff, puff in a big way to 62,000 feet, all the way up in the mesosphere. That's above the stratosphere for those of you who are counting. And all that ash and sulfur dioxide, the day that I was out here planting was the day that happened. And that night when I got in here inside and I looked at the reports, I said, oh no, I know what this is going to do. And sure enough, within 3 days, every weather report every day for the next 2 weeks was going to be in the low to mid 60s and low to mid 40s at night. And sure enough, there's one day, a couple of days where it was dropping in the 30s. Now, y'all know, I've talked about it before, being down here in the valley, you had a higher frost risk because especially on clear nights, like tonight is going to be, and nights when there's no wind, like tonight's going to be. On clear nights, on cloudy nights, the sun will actually, the clouds, will actually hold the warmth in a little bit. And the windy nights, the wind will mix the air up between high and low, so you don't get these cold pockets settling. So tonight is the absolute last possible chance of frost and cold weather. And it's going to go down to 39, so they're saying. And it's going to be clear, which means no clouds. Of course, all you geniuses knew that. And the wind's going to drop down to about 3 miles an hour, so I can expect that will do some damage to these pepper plants. Now, peppers are even more sensitive than your tomatoes. Your tomatoes can take it down to a frost, and the frost will wipe them out, but it has to get down to below freezing. But peppers, when they start to get below 35, they take a hit. And here's a good example of, you see that wilt going on right there at the top? That was below 35 degrees. That wilt is not from lack of water. There's plenty of moisture in the soil, and it just rained a couple of days ago. But this one, they'll recover here in a day or two. And even if it doesn't get below freezing tonight, it will get certainly below 35. And if you let your peppers get hit 2 days in a row like that, well, you lost about 2 or 3 weeks worth of growth. So here's what we're doing. Got a big old tarp to cover that much. I'm going to get another tarp out here to cover this much. And milk cartons cut about halfway down to the bottom. You put them over the top of the squash plants, mound the sawdust up around the milk cartons to give it just a little extra insulation and so that they don't blow away. And up here I actually even had some little clear plastic drawers that were for a small medicine cabinet. So I just put those little drawers over, and they're really shallow, but I buried them in the sawdust. So all those plants are there. They're under little undercover, buried under the sawdust. They should survive one more night. So lesson learned this year is be careful. Wait until about a week before the last frost days if you're going to plant early, and don't get your plants planted too soon in your greenhouse. What happens with the plants when you plant them too soon? They get too big and you can't get them in another bigger pot. Is they get pot bound, and then they start to flower, and then they start to fruit as small plants when they're supposed to be growing leaves and stems and getting bigger. So those those few pepper plants that did start to have peppers already, I got some peppers on there. They're not going to have a whole lot of peppers throughout the year, but we will get some. But considering the fact I have 30 pepper plants, my goodness, I should have, we'll see. We'll see. Hey, Guppy, you want to be in the video, hon? Come here, Guppy girl. Here you go. Guppy's a little sad today because she got tangled up. I was looking over the electric fence, and yes, we finally turned the electric fence on, and I'm down here just looking over the electric fence at the plants, and Guppy's right beside me. She decides she's going to lick the fence. Oh my God, she made a sound like you wouldn't believe. Turned around, spun around 180 degrees as fast as she could, got her back legs tangled up in the fence, and yelped some more, and finally broke free and went to the cabin and would not come out, hiding behind the stove for about 3 or 4 hours. And now she's scared to death to come anywhere near the garden. All right, Guppy, be happy. Everybody loves you. Bye now. God bless you. I love you. God loves you. Guppy wants to love you, but she ain't real happy today. All right, one final look. Y'all thought she was rid of me. Anyway. All right, here we go. The other tarp that I was going to put over there was underneath a pallet that had about 500 pounds of concrete bags on it, and I just wasn't feeling that energetic today. So I remembered I had these black plastic bags. Those are 30-gallon bags, and they just barely fit over the tomato cages and the peppers, and if I mound the sawdust up, that just might work. But I think what I'm going to do next time I go to Lowe's is see if they've got 50-gallon garbage bags that I might use just for that. All right, got a couple of 5-gallon buckets over the basil, and then everything as frost tender is covered. Again, this is something to be avoided. You really don't want to do this every year, but you know, we take our best guess as to when that last frost might be, looking out on the 15-day forecast. And well, sometimes you just gotta plan for the unexpected and try to plant between volcanic eruptions. Have a blessed day. Bye now.